All righty, here we go. Kevin in Canada. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I got my tinfoil hat on, so I'm protected from all the aliens. So I'm doing good.
Where do you find those?
I made them out of tinfoil.
Yeah, a little known fact, the anti-alien technology is available to you at any time. You know, the government doesn't want to let you know, but you can get that information anywhere. You can get protection at your local grocery store. But, you know, what did you want to call about, Kevin?
Tinfoil.
Yeah.
I got it in my cupboard. Okay, so
Yeah.
for real, though, I'm telling you, there is such thing as mind control, and either it's psychic telepathy or it's K2 technology or whatever they want to call it.
Right.
But there's a real psychic warfare going on in this world. I tell you the truth. Yeah.
Nice.
Spiritual. It's mostly spiritual. But yeah.
Uh-oh.
What's your definition of
All right,
spiritual?
this isn't the subject.
Kevin, what's your definition of spiritual? What does that mean to you? Because I don't know what it means myself.
Unseen forces that intelligent forces.
Unseen intelligent forces. What's the difference between, what do you mean by unseen? Because people use see to mean a whole lot of things.
Are entities that we cannot see, sentient beings that we cannot see, that can affect our world.
Can we hear them? Can we detect them with radar waves? Do they give off infrared?
How do we detect them? How did you know about them?
Well, we can't detect something. We can't use an instrument from this reality to detect something from a different reality, right?
How do you know that?
We're in a different realm. We're in a different...
How would you demonstrate that?
We just can't... Because, well, an instrument, how can we use an instrument created in this reality, in this dimension, to detect something from a completely different dimension based on different...
Well, I don't make that claim. You're making the claim, so you've got to provide the evidence. This is how this works on this show. You make the claim, you provide the evidence.
I'm just hypothesizing and theorizing as any other scientist. I'm not a scientist, but as any scientist does.
I'm telling you, not as any other scientist would, because the scientists have to put their money where their mouth is. So now's the time for you to put your money where your mouth is. How is it that you are actually physically interacting with other dimensional instruments that can detect spiritual energy? Tell me what you do.
I'm not saying I do. I'm saying we cannot create instruments in this world to detect things from a different dimension and a different causality, a different reality.
How do you know that?
Realm, right?
Can you demonstrate that such things exist as other dimensions, whatever that means? Because if we're talking about, there's three dimensions and you add the fourth dimension of time, and mathematics gets into a lot of different dimensions, but I don't think you're talking about any of those. So I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, from my experience, I know from the way I perceive life and the way life is, because we're all unique. We all have different experiences and we all see things differently through our unique perspectives as unique individuals. Isn't that amazing? Everybody's unique in this world. Everybody in history, like that alone is a miracle. But anyways, that we can communicate abstract ideas from how far away from each other right now.
But you said it's okay. I hate to see the forest from the trees on this one, but you said it's a miracle. What's your definition of a miracle?
We're just chasing rabbits here. I'd much rather stay on the how does he know that other first of all, what do you mean by other dimension, right? Because there's mathematical dimensions and three dimensions that we live in, or four if you want to count time. So what do you mean by dimension?
Well, apparently scientists believe in multidimensional universe as well, but
some have that hypothesis, but they have no way to prove it.
Kevin, I'm going to give you a little tip, okay? I haven't been on AXP that many times, but you're talking pretty fast. You're trying to sort of sneak things past Jim. That ain't going to happen today, because Jim's going to stop you. He's going to make you account for yourself, and if he doesn't, I'm going to sure as heck try as well.
Right.
So slow down. Let's get down to the brass tacks.
I'm excited. I'm new to this. Give me a break.
You got a break. Here's your break. All right. Give it to me.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm really not.
We're not saying you are. We're just saying slow it down and put some thought into what you're saying, because...
You're good. So, Jim's question is still on the table here.
Yes. Again, can you reiterate your question?
Yeah, so mathematicians have a definition of dimension. Some scientists say that there are other dimensions, but they mean that in the sense of... like we have three-dimensional things versus two-dimensional things, right? That's what they're talking about as far as I can understand it. So, but I don't think you mean that by dimensions. I think you mean other universes, which the multi-universe is a hypothesis. It's got almost no evidence that I'm aware of other than math.
The way I see it as being a firm believer in God, or knower of God, anyway, believer of God, we'll leave it at that. I know God, something created this. So therefore, if he created this,
How do you know that God created this?
Well, because I know God I know there's a higher power that exists.
How do you know that?
There's unseen forces throughout. Like Einstein's great quote from Einstein is, "Coincidences are God's way of remaining in."
Okay, so first of all, quoting Einstein gets you nowhere because Einstein was an atheist who, according to his own words, the best God version he had was the God of Spinoza, which is not really any God close to what you're talking about. So quoting the only thing that quoting Einstein does to support your God theory position is show how little you actually know.
No, I understand Einstein. See, what Einstein didn't believe is that you could have a relationship with this God. That's all. The only difference between him believing in God.
That's not Spinoza's God. Spinoza's God's not something you can have a relationship, and it is nothing like the Christian God, which I'm assuming, given that you're in Canada, that you believe. It's the Christian God, right? Just to establish that.
So Einstein's quote again is, "Coincidences are God's way of remaining in."
You're just going to ignore my question, or were you just waiting to talk? Were you going to answer my question, or are you waiting to talk?
I answered your question right there. That is
the question I asked was, do you believe in God, and is it the Christian God?
I believe there is only one true God, and that you can have a relationship with him. Yeah.
That would be the Christian God.
Well, it could be the Muslim God. Are you Muslim?
It's all God, by the way. It's all God.
Yeah. So yes or no, Christian God. Let's start there.
God is everything is an extension of God. Everything.
That's a huge claim. Do you have any evidence?
My experience in life.
So you are aware that an anecdote is not evidence, right? That it's not anecdata.
Well, when you have billions of people saying they have experiences that are supernatural.
Are you familiar with logical fallacies?
That's evidence.
Are you familiar with logical fallacies?
Just because you have an experience.
Are you familiar with logical fallacies? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. What logical fallacy are you committing?
Assumption? I don't know.
Bandwagoning. Then you're not familiar with them.
Argumentative ad populum.
Yeah, argumentative ad populum, bandwagoning. There's a lot of those. Just because a lot of people believe something doesn't mean it's true, right? A lot of people believe that the earth was flat, right?
That's what I'm saying. The flip side of that is just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean it's not true.
I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying that your anecdotal evidence is not evidence. All we have is an anecdote. Now, so if do you have a way to determine that your experience was actually real and not just you interpreting the experience incorrectly? Do you have a method for determining that?
Physical evidence of God.
What is the physical evidence of God?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. No, that's a story in a book. What's your evidence for God?
Dude, that is a verifiable history book. The New Testament?
No. No, it's not. It really isn't. It's got all kinds of problems.
You can listen to somebody who argues that it's not verifiable, or you can listen to somebody who does argue that it is verifiable. It's our free choice what we want to believe.
No, actually, that isn't how belief works, but that's a whole different conversation. What I'm looking for is actual evidence. The only thing you do is pop up a book. Okay, because I'm sorry, the Spider-Man comics is not proof that Spider-Man exists. A book isn't proof of anything. It needs evidence to back that up. So what evidence do you have to back up your claim?
Free choice or free will? Do you believe in free choice or free will?
Sort of, kind of, not really.
Determinism?
Sort of, kind of, not really.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's hard to... so you're open-minded and obviously intelligent.
Yeah, so you know what else doesn't work on me, bud? Gish galloping doesn't work on me. Complimenting me doesn't work on me. Just give me the evidence. That's all I want, some evidence. And so far, you haven't given me any evidence for any single claim you've made so far on the show.
Well, Jesus Christ is the only physical evidence of God. And
there's no physical evidence of Jesus Christ, so how do you make that claim?
Okay. Because I believe the New Testament is a true story.
So what? I believe you're a unicorn in a human suit. Where are we now?
Well,
Is it true? Is it true for you, Kevin?
we could FaceTime if you like.
No.
You know.
So your own personal interpretation of a bunch of facts that have come your way is not a good enough reason for at least Jim and I, or Jim and me, to believe. So why should we accept your interpretation of the Bible as being true? Why?
It's more logical to believe in God than not to. And I wanted to read something. I wrote it a couple days ago. It'll take 100 seconds, literally.
All right, you have 100 seconds. Let's get. Do we have a? Yeah, I think we have a minute clock. You got 60.
All right. Okay. After debating with atheists all over the world online, I come to realize it's actually more logical to believe in the Creator than not to. We are in a universe of causation. Nothing can exist without something causing it to exist. Therefore, how can a universe of causality exist without something causing it to exist? And how does a big bang of disorder of raw elements create such complex, intelligent, and biological life forms like us? Evolution has an intelligent blueprint. Microscopic cells with no brain cannot evolve without something guiding it. The reality is it's all just energy. How this energy takes form is up for free choice interpretation. But how you interpret it dictates how you live. And I know...
All right, you're done. You're done. Thank you very much for wasting all of our time. I heard absolutely no evidence. I heard a bunch of arguments from ignorance.
Yep.
And honestly, the whole causality thing, go study some quantum mechanics. In fact, a Nobel Prize was just delivered to, I believe, 2 scientists who actually proved that went and proved that there is no causal between, I have to go look at the data again. Anyway, in the quantum realm, there does not appear to be cause and effect for some things. Some things just happen at random, and quantum gets really, really weird with all kinds of things that classical science just can't explain.
Yeah.
So you've got problems with that. And the rest of your stuff was arguments from ignorance and nothing but claims. So we're back where we started from.
Yeah, you didn't advance the ball at all, Kevin. Yeah, exactly. I'm with Jim. You made a bunch of claims. You gave me no reason to believe. I guess it just comes down to you're going to have to show your work. I know that you got excited. You wrote something down. You wanted to present it to us. Maybe you had the idea that by preaching this good word, you might, I don't know, convince some people in the audience or some people that were on the fringes of maybe tilting back toward theism. But it's going to take more. The amount of detail that you put into your explanation is less detailed than a car salesman would put into the reasons why you should buy a particular car. And yet a car is a thing you can actually see, that you purchase and you have a temporary relationship with. You are asking us in the audience to accept something that has a permanent effect upon the way they live the rest of their lives based upon a bunch of, dare I say, conclusions. And so go back to the drawing board, give us some details, and call back another time. Okay?